I just turned 30 this year, and I've been earning upper six figures for the past 3 years. So one could say that my career was growing pretty steadily and pretty successfully so far. Is this because I'm a genius? Probably not. However, there are 5 books that I read in the past couple of years that not only changed my life, but also my work environment. Yes, I am in tech, but all of those books are equally transferable to any industry out there. Oh, and if you want to support me, please hit the subscribe button. I'm spending so much time creating and editing those videos, so give me some feedback on this video, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. All right, let's dive right in. The first book that we're talking about today is this one. It's called Mindset. I read this book super early in my career, maybe in the first year that I've worked at the company that I work for right now. This book talks about how you can group 2 different ways of learning together. First one is the fixed mindset, the second one is the growth mindset. This is also a book that I often recommend to people that join my company fresh out of college because they have to figure this out too. So what are the differences? The fixed mindset believes that intelligence, talent, and abilities cannot be changed ever. Most people that are in this fixed mindset also avoid any challenges because they're afraid of failure, and they often see difficulties as an inability. For example, I often see this as a manager when people tell me, I've always been a front-end engineer, that's all I can do, and that's all I want to do. This is a very fixed mindset because you're limiting yourself to being just this front-end engineering person instead of branching out. In comparison, an engineer with a growth mindset would tell me, okay, look, I've been only doing front-end in the past couple of years and I will probably need some time to get into back-end first, but I believe in myself and I think I can learn it. The biggest difference here is that you're aware that you don't know something, but you're also motivated to learn. And you know that it takes time in order to become an expert in something. And in order to get from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, you must believe that change is possible. I really found this book super valuable, not just for me, but also for people that I manage or for people that I've been mentoring in the past couple of years. And the moment you train your brain to think in a growth mindset, you can really do anything on this planet. Also, you don't feel discouraged when something doesn't go your way because you know it's normal. Like, people are not perfect whenever they start a new skill. No, you need to learn it, you need to grow, and then you can get better at it. The second book I want to talk about is Ikigai. This book you will not find in the business sectors. However, I think this is a must read for every single person that has a job. Why is that? Because of this. Ikigai is a combination of Iki, which is life, and Gai, which is value or worth. So when you combine Ikigai, it means value in living, or things that make one's life worthwhile. And this graphic that I'm showing you here is the intersection of all. Your goal in life should be to get to your Ikigai in the middle. Ikigai is a combination of what you love, what the world most needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. Ideally, you should find one thing in your life that targets all of those 4, and then you work towards them. Why do I think this book is so important as a professional? Everyone on this planet needs a purpose in life. For some people, that's what you do professionally. For some people, it's not. However, if you find something that has the Ikigai for you, like something that you can be paid for, that the world needs, that you want to do, and that you're good at, you will be way more successful versus trying to fit into a certain narrative that the communities around you are telling you to do. I try to read this book once a year. It's a very quick read. You can read it in a day. Just to remind myself how important it is to have an Ikigai. For me, my Ikigai is creating things, and this is a variety of topics. It can be software, it can be YouTube videos, it can be an Etsy store, it can be digital things, it can be a new song. Doesn't matter. I really love creating things, and I'd rather create things versus resting, which is super important for me. All right, once you found your Ikigai, you want to focus on the following book. Finish what you start. This is a book on discipline because I think all of us set goals. Like, all of us want to do something specific with our lives. We aim really high, we have those dreams, but then very, very, very few people actually follow through with them. And this is what this book talks about. It talks about how you can prioritize better. It talks about setting goals and habits in the right way. And it balances and it embraces accountability. One of the key points of this book is instead of planning forever, you actually need to do things early on. If you have an idea, let's say, hey, I want to create a TikTok account to document my travel, You shouldn't spend the next 30 days just with planning it and brainstorming and thinking about, oh, what could I even post there? No, you should just start with doing something and learn from it. This is what this book talks about, because discipline is about starting small, creating a habit, and then continuing to do it instead of just talking about it and telling yourself, oh yeah, I'll do this one day. Because that's not discipline. Discipline is how you do it on a consistent basis. To follow something else that this book talks about is how to build good habits. And for that, I absolutely love Atomic Habits. I think that I read this book the moment it came out, and I honestly loved it so much. This book has helped me tremendously to change the way my brain thinks and how habits work in our bodies. One of the chapters talks about how to easily form a habit and how to start small. And I can only recommend doing this yourself. If you have a goal, let's say your goal is to be healthy, you can't just say, okay, I'll just eat more healthy and do more exercise. No. This book often talks about how you can start with the tiniest habits possible, atomic habits. For example, if you want to work out every day, start by putting on your workout clothes and do 1 push-up. And do this every day for a week. It's not that big of a deal. It maybe takes you 5 minutes to do, maybe even less. And it's not painful, which is a blocker that we all have in our brain. Like, we don't want to exercise because it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna take forever. But if you start changing your brain patterns, 1 habit at a time, you actually have a chance of succeeding with this book. Also, one more thing that I really liked about this book is habit stacking. This means each time you do something that you already have a habit for, let's say when you brush your teeth at night, you also want to start flossing because you don't do it right now and it's not a habit ingrained in your brain yet. Instead of saying, I'm gonna floss every single tooth in my mouth, you're starting with 1 tooth at a time. So for 1 week, you're only gonna floss 1 tooth. For the second week, you're flossing 3 teeth maybe. And then you keep stacking it up and stacking it up. This way your brain knows, okay, I'm brushing my teeth, this is what comes next. And this is super critical when you're building new habits for your brain. Then, to round it all up, I'm going to recommend this book, which is The First 90 Days. If you're starting a new job or you're switching teams, this book should be your Bible, especially if you're someone in a leadership position. And it really gives you a good overview of things that you should do when you initially start. For example, in the first couple of weeks, you listen, you learn, you get to know as many people as possible, you try to understand the culture of the team. You're not going to change anything, because if you come in as someone who's brand new to the team, you're observing a week and then you're changing a ton of things in the second week, everyone's gonna think, who are you to say? So instead you're gonna come in, you're making allies, you're trying to get to know the people on your team, you're actually trying to understand the problems as well before you make any suggestions. And even if you do make a suggestion right away, try to get your allies to agree with you first before you announce something to a big team. Also, this book mentions that it's really important to secure early wins, and I cannot agree more with this. If you join a new team, a new company, set yourself a teeny tiny goal that you're telling your manager or your reports, and then follow through on that. It should be something that's really achievable in like 1 to 2 weeks, but then follow up. Do not forget that you signed up for this goal, because people remember what you did first. You need to make a good first impression. And this is why you need to set a teeny tiny goal to actually achieve it. So TLDR, 5 books that really helped me a lot in my career. Let me know if you've read any of those. Let me know what you think about it. I have more book recommendations that you can find on my Amazon storefront, so if you're curious about, check that out. Until then, please subscribe to this channel and see you next time.